a natural leader in everything that I do. I love structure and I always have a plan. I take charge. I like to get things done and I self manage. I lead others well, lead my business, and I honestly enjoy seeing the results of working a plan. And that way works so well in so many areas of my life and in my business, except in the area of my romantic relationships. I've seen this in my own life and in the lives of many of my clients too, who are natural leaders. As leaders, we want the same structure, our plan, our leadership to produce the same results in our romantic relationships as in our businesses and in our own self management of our own lives. Yet, it always doesn't always work this way. You see, I in particular have chosen a life partner who's my opposite. He's a quiet leader in an intuitive way, but not a planner. He's not structured or organized in the same way as I am, yet he's headstrong and strong willed enough that he's just not going to fall in line with my plan, with my structure, and with my control. That has been a big challenge for me and has caused some tension in our relationship, actually, and some frustration on my part. I was struggling recently with several things that we didn't see eye to eye on, and I was convinced that I knew the best way to do something. And it appeared to me that our very financial future, our very future life, depended on me being able to handle the situation in a certain way, for me to take charge and to take control. I needed it done and demanded it that it be done the way that I needed it to be done. I wanted a plan to deal with it the right way. And that was met with resistance for a couple of weeks. And the more that I pushed and tried to control, the more my partner resisted to the point that it began to tear us apart. And the resentment drove a wedge between us both, real honestly. One morning recently, I was at the end of my rope with it, incredibly frustrated with the situation. And I went running with my best friend, with whom I began to share my frustration openly about the situation. And she listened, as she always does. And then she said, "Yeah, I get it. You want a plan, and you see it so clearly how you want it. He's not a planner. You feel panicky and a little bit lost because he won't do what you need him to do. Then you get in your fear that it's always going to be this way and that it's all going to fall on you, and you feel out of control and afraid. But you know that he's going to fight you as long as you try to control his response because he needs you to let him be him." Ugh, I didn't want to hear it, but I knew she was right. I had been through this before, and I, knew that trying to control out of fear was not the way to handle the situation. But I had been stuck in that negative pattern of thinking and behavior. A few minutes later, after I had time to think it through, I said, "Yeah, I guess it's that old problem of being the strong leader, and you lead others, you lead your business, you lead your own life, but the one that you love the most just won't follow your lead." And as we continued running, I thought about that more and more. And I thought about the wisdom kind of came and the truth came that I had already known, and that I actually coach other leaders to practice in their relationships, but that I had forgotten myself. I had gotten into a negative pattern of thinking and behavior, trying to lead and even control my partner rather than love him. Do you relate? Maybe you've struggled with the same thing in your relationship with your spouse or your partner. Maybe you're stuck in the cycle right now, stuck in the cycle of being right, needing to do something the right way, the way that you see it, controlling the situation, or needing something handled the way that you think it should be handled. And it's driving a wedge between you and your partner. If that's the case, you can shift your perspective and reconnect in your relationship. But we've got to remind ourselves of these truths that I was reminded of this most recently, and that I want to share with you today. And here they are. Number one, fear is not love. And if we try to control out of fear, it creates disconnection, and it will drive a wedge in our relationship. We can't try to control someone that we love, or try to control a situation and love that person at the same time. Number two, when we try to manipulate or control someone's responses, we are not going to get what we really want, not in the end. We can control or manipulate in that situation and they may comply, but it's not sustainable because they're not being their true self, and they either will act out sideways or eventually rebel and do the thing that they want to do, which is going to create resentment and more problems in the relationship down the road. Number 3, the truth is that if our partner is who we chose and is really the person that we love, then we chose them for a reason, and our differences are a gift. And certain aspects of their personality and their behavioral style may drive us crazy at times, but our differences can actually moderate us and level each other. For example, in my relationship, if I had 2 of me, I would drive myself crazy and him crazy and everybody else crazy around me. And I need my boyfriend to balance me like he does. I need his intuition. I need his discernment. I need his wisdom. And those are his gifts. And if I control him and structure him too much, he loses who he is, and I lose the gift of who he is too. I don't want that. We need to let our partner be who they are and appreciate and honor their differences and not try to control them into who we need them to be so that we can feel safe and secure or be right. And number 4, when our partner is reacting with resistance, there is a valid reason why. And we need to seek to understand with compassion what they're feeling and what they're needing. Seek to listen and to understand rather than try to control and change. Then come together and communicate in healthy, loving ways and with a solution that works for both of us, where it's a win-win. We can't be in control and love at the same time. We can't be focused on being right and be loving towards our partner simultaneously. And it is not possible to need to change our partner to be who we need them to be and have the love and the connection that we deeply desire at the same time. We can't be in fear and choose love. We must make the choice to truly love above all, despite our feelings, despite our needs in that moment, if we're going to have the romantic relationship that we truly desire. So I encourage you and challenge you that if you're struggling with this same situation, demanding that you're right and they're wrong, needing them to act or be or do what you need them to do and who you need them to be, and needing them to do it your way while you're withholding love, it's time to decide what's most important. Will you choose love?